Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Otakast Radio Prime. I'm Freek, and tonight we have an extra special guest on our show. She played Rukia Kuchiki in Bleach and Tsukasa in Lucky Star, and the lovely Fujiko in
Mine.
Lupin the III. Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, this is Michelle Ruff. Everybody give it up. Everybody in the chat box, It's a great pleasure to have you on the show tonight, Michelle, and I'm very glad that you were able to make it.
Well, thanks for having me.
So, let's kick this interview off. The first question that I have for you is, you worked on the anime Lucky Star, which was a big difference from a lot of animes out there, and especially some of the ones that you've voiced, and it makes fun of the otaku lifestyle. What did you like most about this?
The show or making fun of the otaku lifestyle?
Both.
Both? Well, I think you just said it by saying, making fun of the otaku lifestyle. It was just very tongue-in-cheek, and nothing really ever made sense, so it was fun and silly and just jumping around from subject to subject, and a lot of times I'd be like, wait a minute, what are we doing now, or why are we all of a sudden in a different scene, and what is this? And it was just silly, so it wasn't like the normal, how a lot of animes can have a very serious plot line. Lucky Star was just goofy, so it was fun to be in.
All right, and in Lucky Star you played Tsukasa, the cute, gullible little younger twin sister, as well as Minami, who's pretty much the exact opposite. She's a quiet, rich, sophisticated girl. What was it like playing both of these characters?
It was fun. Minami was kind of supposed to be a play on Yuki from Haruhi. Yeah. So, and I guess in the Japanese, the actress who played Tsukasa also played Minami. So that was supposed to be the big thing with that. But it was, she was fun. I like playing opposite characters in the same series because then I get to stretch, and it's like, okay, well, do I really sound different enough to be able to play two different characters in the same show? And I think I did. So, being able to pull that off is always a hoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I can say you definitely pulled that off, and great work in the Lucky Star series.
Oh, thank you. So, in contrast to Lucky Star, or to Tsukasa in Lucky Star, you played Yuki, which we just mentioned, the quiet alien girl who likes to read in Haruhi Suzumiya. So what was it like for you to play such a quiet and strange role? It was more than just being quiet. She was very introverted, just like that kind of brooding character, and it was a real different placement vocally. It was a different placement physically to find that character. And I'm accustomed to always playing, like you said, from Tsukasa or even from Rukia or Yoko and Gurren Lagann or even Fujiko. Yuki was so far removed from any of that. I really had to concentrate on making sure that I was really hitting her, really nailing that character. She was a little bit more difficult, especially with some of those monologues that she had where she's just babbling on and on and on. It's like, oh my God, I have to stay in character for that huge paragraph of copy, It's a challenge.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a challenge. It's like going on in the monotonous Yuki voice.
Yes.
It sounds very difficult.
But it was, I mean, she's fun. She was a fun character. I liked the spoof, the feature film spoof we did where she's a witch. I think it was episode 11.
Yeah, well, episode 1 and 11, I think.
Yeah.
Depends on which order.
Okay.
That was a very fun series. Because if you watch it in the television order, it's episode 1 because it comes first on all the DVDs.
Oh, does it? Okay. Yeah, it's just like a little DVD special or extra or whatever it is. I don't know. It's just funny. Just silly.
Yeah, it was actually the first episode I saw, and that was a very interesting introduction to Haruhi. So, Paranoia Agent, the one about Shonen Bat, the Bat Boy, that was another really strange psychological show, and you played the female lead Sagi, who had her little dancing dog. What did you like about this show?
I thought it was an interesting, I don't know, I think it kind of made a statement about our culture and how we get wrapped up, like how the media and everybody gets wrapped up in a story or in what you think is reality and what isn't. You know what I mean? That was, it was kind of a far remove, you know. I think Japanese anime, the reason I like it is because it does go a little bit deeper than the majority of the American cartoons we see on, you know, network TV. It just was like a really interesting, weird foray into something that I was not expecting. You know what I mean? It was like, oh wow, this is a funky little show, really different little show. That's what I liked about it, you know.
And that show was actually directed and drawn by one of Otakast's favorite directors, Satoshi Kon, who's noted for doing those sort of surreal, strange looks on into society. So it was a big treat for us to be able to watch it, and one of my favorite series of all time. So it was really good work.
Thank you. Yeah, I got lucky with that one. I just, you know, Jonathan Klein over at New Gen offered me the part, and I said sure, you know, and he kind of, you know, told me a little bit about it before I went in, but I didn't really understand what it was about until I got into the scenes, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. It was Little Slugger. Was that the? Little
Bat Boy.
Yeah, exactly. That was a funky little show.
Now, one of your biggest projects so far, I would probably say your biggest, is Rukia Kuchiki from Bleach. What did you like most about dubbing Bleach?
That it's been ongoing. It's the longest project, which means work. But aside from that,
that's definitely a good thing.
That's a good thing, yeah. But I like Rukia. I like the character. I like Rukia, and I like the story. I like that it's based. You know, there's a lot of references to mythology and to the Bible and to, you know, different spiritual and religious things, and that the hollows are similar to, you know, demons and spirits and Wekamundo. You know, just the whole storyline is, I think, really, really interesting. And then on top of that, you throw in the ninja stuff, you know, the fighting stuff. So I just think it's got a lot of depth to it, you know. There's a lot going on, and that makes it fun, you know.
So what has been, like, your favorite